Hello and welcome to Guns and Gear. I've got a neat little gun that I'd like to show you all today, and that's the Colt Detective Special. Okay. Now, I was going to give you some historical facts about the gun. I have a book on Colt firearms. It goes into quite a bit of detail about the different models and things of that nature, but I'll be honest with you, I can't find that daggone thing. I think I've loaned that book to somebody, and I can't remember who I loaned it to, but at any rate, it's been 7 or 8 years ago since I read the book. So hopefully I won't get the information wrong. But at any rate, the Colt Detective Special, to me, is the quintessential snub nose. It's the gun that you saw in all the black and white gangster movies and the movies about the private dicks and the police and things of that nature fighting during Prohibition and things like that. This was a very popular gun of the time. Okay. Now, in 1927, the .38 Special was actually considered a powerful round. Yeah, really, it was. Not the .38 Special Plus P, not the .357 Magnum. They weren't around yet. You know, they were years down the road. The .38 Special was considered a powerful defensive round. And there really wasn't a snub nose out there that offered that kind of firepower. Okay, you had the little the break open Ivor Johnson type of guns that they opened from the top strap here, and they would open up, they would swivel up. But because of their design and the materials used and the fact that they were inexpensive guns at that time, they really weren't made into a major caliber like a .38 Special. You mostly saw those in like 22 and 32 and things of that nature. Now, the Colt Detective Special was actually a shortened version of Colt's very popular Police Positive revolver, and that was a gun that was used by many police agencies, one of which was the New York Police Department. They used them for years. Okay, now, you know, I have a buddy of mine here on YouTube. His name is Firearms Rescue, and you need to check him out if you haven't already. I'm sure most of you have. He always talks about the guns that he has and how he kind of likes guns that he used to see in the video games that he enjoys to play. Well, for me, it was the movies, okay, and the different eras. And this represents to me the Prohibition days, the gangster movies and things of that. Gangster, by the way, not gangsta. Okay, there's about 50 years difference. At any rate, those were the kind of this was one of the guns that they used in a lot of the movies. You know, you think of Humphrey Bogart, you think of James Cagney, those kind of movies. And so I was kind of excited when I got this gun. I just recently acquired it in a horse trade. And I tell you what, I just haven't been able to stop picking it up and messing with it. Now this is a pretty clean model right here, and I'll show you a close-up of it. I apologize for the fingerprints on there. But like I said, I wiped it down, but then I got to messing around with it again. Now there are some differences between the Colt snub nose and what you would see from Smith & Wesson, the J-frame revolvers. The J-frame revolvers that I would compare to the Detective Special would be like the Model 36. Okay. Now, like I said, the first generation of this handgun began in 1927 and it ran until about 1946. I remember that. This happens to be a third generation edition of the Detective Special, and how I know that? A few things. One is, and most glaringly obvious, is the barrel shroud that goes around the ejector here. Okay. Now the Generation 3 basically ran from the early 70s, and I want to say 1972, but I know that it did stop in 1986. Okay. These wood grips also is a good indication. Now, the gentleman that I acquired this gun from, he said that he bought it in 1984, which also tells me that this is a Generation 3 Detective Special. Okay. And it's, like I said, it's a pretty clean gun. He said he really didn't shoot it that much, and if you look at it and give it close inspection, you don't see the holster wear around the barrel or cylinder that you would see if somebody carried the gun a lot. So it's in pretty good mechanical shape. The action on it is very smooth. The lockup is very tight. Another indication that it hasn't been shot a lot. Now, one of the biggest things that you will notice that's different between a Smith & Wesson J-frame and the good old Colt Detective Special is the fact that when you open up the cylinder there, you see 6 holes. Okay, you see 6 holes. The cylinder will hold 6 rounds versus, and I have, for comparison purposes, here is a J-frame Smith & Wesson Airweight. Okay, and this has the aluminum alloy frame, and you'll notice that it has a 5-round cylinder. Now, because of that, it is a little bit slimmer. Okay, you will get it in frame. You can see that the Colt is just a little bit thicker, but I tell you what, it's not bad at all. And even though this is an all-steel gun, it doesn't feel all that heavy. Now, another gun that you would consider as a more modern snub-nose revolver is the SP-101, and this one does have a 3-inch barrel, but they do make one that's comparable to these guys. This has a 2-inch barrel. The Smith & Wesson has a 1 7/8 inch barrel. You know, this is a good gun right here. This is in .357 Magnum. This is also a 5-shot revolver, but because Ruger really builds beefy tank-like guns, this gun is quite a bit heavier, and it's actually very similar in width, to the point where you can use a Detective Special. It will fit into a SP-101 holster. I know that because I just tried it. Tell you what, you know, I just absolutely am tickled to death with this gun. It's very clean. It's a gun that I've wanted to acquire for a while, but you know, when you see them, they're usually kind of beat up. I really didn't want a Generation 4. I'm not sure when they began using alloys, but there were alloy frame Gen 4s, and they also had the Pachmayr rubber grip with the gold Colt medallion on there, and I wanted blue and I wanted wood grips. I really like the design of the wood grips. If you look at them, they're kind of thick across here. Now, I don't have huge hands, but I have pretty good sized hands, and this is a very small handgun, and anything that I can get that'll give me a little bit wider or more hand-feeling purchase will probably allow me to shoot this gun better. Okay, that's a personal preference thing of mine. All right, well, this is just a kind of a quick look at a great little handgun. I will address one more thing, and that is, if you look on the table here, I have some speed loaders here, and you'll see that I have the new Hornady critical defense ammunition, and this is a plus P loading. Now, if this was one of the more older guns, the Generation 1 or Generation 2, I don't know that I would say that it's okay to use plus P. As a matter of fact, plus P loads are not recommended by Colt, but here's what I do know. My father had a gun very much like this one right here, along the same range. It was probably a 78, 79. And he had an older version that he got when he got out of the Korean War. These guns were considered by my father as pocket guns, okay, as backup guns. I don't consider them backup guns. I think they fill that role very well, but this is a gun that you could carry as your primary weapon, in my opinion. If you have good, solid, proven ammo. Now, the critical defense ammo is becoming very popular, and I have no experience with it. This is ammunition that I got when I got the gun, okay? But we'll see, and I'll be doing some testing on that and coming up with my own opinions. One of my favorite rounds for the 38 Special happens to be the Gold Dot short barreled 135 grain. And this is actually the ammunition that I took out of the Smith & Wesson. And that is plus P rated handgun. I'm going to say that the Colt, especially the 3rd and 4th generation Colts, would be fine in using plus P ammunition. The reason I'm going to say that is because they're well-built handguns. They're more modern steels. Now, I don't know if I'd want to pound thousands of rounds of plus P ammo through there. I will probably shoot lighter 38 special loads for most of my shooting. I will only shoot the plus Ps when I'm evaluating the accuracy of different loads with the gun. And I think if you use some common sense and always keep safety at the forefront, a gun like this will last you a lifetime. This is the kind of gun that hopefully my grandson will enjoy also. So that's all I'm really going to say about the ammunition. It is not, I repeat, it is not recommended by Colt to use plus P ammo in these guns. Alright? So with that, I'll end this video. Thanks for watching. And remember, shoot straight on the range and in life. Thanks.